Hello everyone, welcome to this lesson. We are going to paint 3 different rose leaves in different positions, practicing the strokes we have learned in a previous lesson. And I'm using inks again and mixing a couple greens, sap green and olive green, and going to start with this leaf. So painting the leaves first, and then I will add the stem in the end. Same as we did in the previous lesson, same strokes, one side, another side, and let them merge in the middle. One side and another side. And with these strokes, I'm kind of trying to follow the shape from the reference. But of course, as I'm doing this with the strokes, I'm not outlining or doing anything like that. I'm not able to follow it exactly as it is there. So just as long as the strokes allow me to follow it. And the reference here is mostly for we could see how the rose leaves look in their natural position. And this is why I'm most of the time using the references in my paintings. So I'm not following them directly, but just to get an idea of how the leaves or petals are placed, what direction they grow into, and what are their general shapes. This is why. So same here, I'm following those references, but with my brush stroke, as long as the brush strokes allow me to do this. Now I'm using my round brush to paint the stems, and I have added a little bit of permanent rose to my green to get this kind of reddish brown color, and painting the main stem first, and then adding the tiny little strokes to show the stems which are attached to the leaves. And this was just for the shape. We're not doing any shadows or anything. We're just practicing to create the leaves shapes with the brush strokes. Now let's do another one. Starting with the top leaf, same strokes, one side and another side. The point. Just adjusting it a little bit. Now let's do this kind of wrinkled leaf. Mostly I'm doing it with the edge of my brush because it's so thin, and with the edge I'm showing the texture too. And now this side leaf, same way. The palette is on my way here, so I have to do it in with a few strokes. And the last one, little tiny leaf in the bottom. Okay, let's add some texture. Now let's take round brush and paint the stem. Same way, adding some permanent rose and painting the main stem first, and then the little tiny ones which are attached to the leaves. And the third one. So same way, starting from the top. Here it's a bottom leaf actually, and adding some texture. And another side leaf here. It's quite white, so I'm using the white side of my brush mostly for painting it. And one more tiny leaf here on the top. And now changed my brush to round, adding some permanent rose and painting the stems. The main and the tiny ones. And here it is. On this lesson we practiced on painting roses, leaves, shapes with the filbert brush, and in the next lesson we are going to paint some other leaves.